Welcome to MRLies.
What did you do?
We are a Desperate Housewives recap podcast with me, Erin McGee.
And me, Jakub Tansey. Two best friends breaking down each episode until we answer the ultimate question, MRLies, what did you do?
Unless, of course, we have finished season 1, in which case, insert new mystery here.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack on Wisteria Lane.
Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
So get comfortable and let's get into this week's episode.
Hello!
Hi! Oh my god, welcome back!
Welcome back! We are in a new set.
Yeah, our production company decided to splurge on a bigger set.
On a slightly bigger set.
Yeah.
I live there for tax reasons. Hi!
How are you, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm thriving.
May I start, if that's okay?
You absolutely... I mean, what could you possibly have to talk about, Erin?
We are in my new house.
We sure are.
I have moved in. There was an issue with flooring. There is now a floor.
We love having a floor.
Yes. Jakub is in fact sat on that very floor right now. And it's here. And this morning was Jakub's first time in the house. We've seen each other out with the house, but it's been so long. I've really missed you.
I missed you too. I miss seeing you regularly. I got too accustomed to it.
Yeah, I spoiled you.
You really did. Really.
Yes, but thank goodness, finally, we will not have any more stupid chat on this pod about moving house. Or
will we? So I don't want to alarm anyone. Erin already knows this, but in the time that we've been on break that it's taken to set up into Erin's new home, I have myself purchased a home.
Woo!
This shouldn't affect the recording because it is here in Erin's that we record. So that was the reason for the delay. Like, it shouldn't matter that I'm moving.
And also, Jakub's place, God willing, will have a floor.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And tell me about your flat.
Well, touch wood, because, the legal stuff isn't finalized yet.
Yes. And it is the worst time that we could have possibly chosen to do this, but also the best time in a weird way.
Yeah, I got into the last possible second because I was getting concerned with the global news that there is right now and seeing how it's affecting mortgage rates and stuff. So I contacted my mortgage advisor to be like, should I be worried? And so he reserved the mortgage deal we'd been looking at, and literally the next day the mortgage rates went up by 0.5%. So he told me that I've saved like $3,500 over the fixed term period, which is crazy. And like, we hear about people who are having their deals like taken away and stuff. So I feel really lucky to have gotten it just in the nick of time.
You definitely did. There was a girl at my work and that happened. Something completely fell through. She was originally going to be offered 5 times her salary. She's now being offered 2 times her salary. They withdrew her agreement in principle. It's my deepest sympathies would have gone to anybody buying a home at the moment anyway, but even more so now.
But yeah,
I'm so excited for you.
It's a 1-bed flat because I have no intention of living with anyone, which is the whole reason I wanted to buy a place. I like my privacy.
Yes.
I get the keys at the start of May, and it's gonna be a good time.
It is currently the 5th of March. For the 5th? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Happy New Year! No, it's the 5th of April.
Yes, 5th of April today.
Yes, it's Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter. Yeah,
Happy Easter.
We're not allowed to say Happy New Year anymore until the next event. It's Happy Easter every week.
I feel like it is New Year because it's snowing outside. And
that's true.
It's just not. Yeah, Jakub was saying before we started recording, everyone's Instagram story from Edinburgh right now is just like, did y'all know it's snowing in April? Can we talk about your game?
I'm a very busy person, not because I have to be, because I like to fill up my time.
He's
and
booked.
So, the podcasting takes up a lot of time. I spend a lot of time with my friends playing board games, which I'm sure you're all sick of hearing about. I spend a lot of time at the gym throughout the week. And we stopped recording because you were moving. My friend who hosts all the board game stuff went on holiday for like a month. And I hurt my back, so I wasn't going to the gym. And I found myself with an obscene amount of free time. And I was like, what on earth am I going to do? So naturally, I started designing a Housewives themed board game. Not Desperate Housewives, but like a Real Housewives or officially generic reality TV themed board game.
Generic women who are married. The board game.
Yes. Very relatable. So that's been taken. Well, I haven't been working on it as much recently, but I spent like a good month just intensely every night on a Google Doc on a bunch of different services I found that help with this kind of stuff. And it's been fun. It's been fun to do. It's almost at a point where I can print off like a paper copy. Just to like play test.
Yes.
But I'm certain. The only thing I'm certain about with this game is that it will immediately fall apart. But that's like the norm from what I understand. Yeah. It's all just about testing, iterating again and again and again.
But also like how amazing that everybody talks about, you know, when they have more time, they'll do this. And it's always a thing, or for me anyway, that I yearn to do something creative. You've actually done it.
Well, I do always need like a creative output, and this podcast is a big part of that for me. So when that was gone, I was like, oh. And hey, if there's one thing about me, I'm going to commit to the bit, you guys. I'm going to commit to the bit. Erin knows that for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how we started doing this. Yeah,
I love a bit. So obviously I want to play it. Mm-hmm. Would you like to play it on pod? Pod? Would you like to do a Patreon episode?
I didn't think about that. I mean, we can switch on the camera and see what happens. But you need at least 3 people, so Rory would have to join.
So all of this sounds like Leonard and Norma.
Leonard and Norma.
We can turn on the camera, see what happens. Rory will have to join, but...
Well, the neighbours already think you're swingers.
The neighbours do think we're swingers. As I've said before, one of my best friends lives next door. And the neighbours see me and her popping into each other's house all the time, sometimes with objects. They see me walking her dog. Like, you know, they definitely think we're swinging.
And so, Erin, or should I say Alberta, what is your other news?
Jakub keeps sending me memes of Alberta from. Why? Because I am a mother. I am a new mother of the best little kitten in the world. Her name is Maggie. I think we were talking about when to start recording again, and there was always an excuse. And then I was thinking, I've got a kitten. She's going to be running around. If you all are okay with it, I will supply you with kitten pictures in return for occasionally probably hearing meows in the background.
And little like pitter patters like.
Yeah, I thought, if I'm being very, very honest, I thought people who had pets were lying. Or just being a little bit dramatic. And they put her. Oh, so let me tell you her story, Jakub, because I've kept this from you on purpose.
I'm waiting to hear
origins.
This. Because I mean, all the Desperados, you're probably just as surprised as me, having heard Erin on pod talk several times about how she's going to get a dog the second she gets a house. And so out of nowhere, I got this picture of a cat. Like, what is happening? Who is this?
Who's that wonderful girl? There was a lot of chat from Rory and I together. Rory being my fiance. It's been so long. You guys might not remember. We want a cat and a dog eventually. And we had a lot of conversations before getting a pet. We've been talking about it for a while. As I said, we were talking about moving house specifically to get a pet at one point. I guess I don't want to accidentally shade anybody else, but our lifestyle, I don't think would be fair to a dog right now. Like with flats, like with falling in love, I woke up one day and I just knew I was fine. I said to Rory, I want to go to Lothian Cat Rescue. We went in. If you're choosing to rescue an animal, you should kind of let the animal pick you as opposed to the other way around. And I said, we said that to them. You know, I want to meet cats. And then, you know, if any of them choose us, that would be amazing. If they don't, that's fine. So we go in and she looks so sad. And essentially her story is there were people who were cat breeders who could not sell 3 of the litter. And they essentially dumped them at Lothian Cat Rescue. We're not impulsive souls. Never have been, never will be. But we were like, this is it. This is our baby. So we've taken her home. We've had her a week today. I don't even know if I've said her name. Her name is Maggie. And she also really likes Jakub. The thing I wanted to tell about Maggie, a little anecdote, if you will, because again, can't stop talking about my cat. We have a canvas bag full of podcast equipment. That is Maggie's favourite spot.
She's a desperado.
She's a desperado. She has been grafting me to get back on this pod. She took to Jakub in a way she's not really taken to a stranger before, and I think it's because of the smell of the bag. So yes, I'm fully Alberta from. But thank you for indulging me. But can I just say, God bless Lothian Cat Rescue, and God bless animal shelters in general for taking these sweet babies. And they've been so good. They said, you know, if you have any questions, they wrote a lot of things down for us. We came back with tins of food already for her and treats that they gave us. Like, oh my goodness. Like, it renowned my faith in humanity. Renowned.
Oh, and you know what? That's running thin these days. So.
And that's running thin.
Oh,
it's magic.
I remember what I want to talk about. Erin McGee. I remember what I want to talk about. Right. Let's get into it. Oh my God. I'm raging at you.
You're raging at me.
I'm so mad at you, Erin.
Okay, hold on. Can I try and guess why?
You can try and guess.
Is it something? But I'm so perfect.
As you'll all remember from several episodes of Erin raving about it on pod, Erin was so championing the television show 911.
Yeah.
In the break that we have had,
Yeah.
I have binge watched 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. And I'm enjoying it.
5 great seasons.
And I'm enjoying talking about it with Erin as the only other person I know who watches it.
Yes.
And just as I commit to the bit, because Erin knows I like to commit to the bit, she has turned off of the show. And I am furious.
I can promise you now, watch season 8, episode 17, and then come back here, Jakub. Rory walked into the house. I had the cat. The cat was on my lap. I am sobbing my eyes out. I was inconsolable. And Rory's just going, are you okay? And I just go, it wasn't meant to be this type of show. It wasn't meant to be like this.
Right, let's talk about a show that we're both actually up to date with, shall we?
Oh, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I did not watch most of this season.
Okay, let me try again.
Let's talk about Desperate Housewives Season 2, Episode 12, We're Gonna Be Alright.
And you know what? I think we're going to be all right, Jakub.
Now, apparently the characters of 911 are not.
Meow, 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 meow.
Calling all desperados.
Are you enjoying the pod?
Want to access our episodes early and support Erin and I to keep the show running?
Well, now you can.
Over at patreon.com/modded, you can support the show for as little as £3 a month.
Why, Jakub, that's less than the price of the coffees that keep us coherent during records.
Truly, no joke. You can get a shout out from us here, access episodes a whole day earlier than everyone else, and even get access to occasional bonus watch along episodes.
Ooh.
We're aiming for monthly.
But no pressure. Seriously.
We love you either way.
It's just there if you're looking for a way to show your appreciation and help us keep doing what we do.
Want to support the show for free? Tell a friend.
Tell your mother.
Tell your aunt who you know loves Desperate Housewives.
Tell your therapist.
Tell your ex-boyfriend.
No, do not break no contact. But tell anyone who might enjoy our ramblings.
And leaving a review helps more than you know.
We love you, desperados.
That's patreon.com/modded. MAWDYD.
Now, back to the episode.
Mary Alice voiceover. tells us about Jim Halverston, a man with little to offer women. He's not rich, clever, or handsome. And he is on a date with Susan.
Can we talk about how the actor is Grey's Anatomy? He plays a very similar role where...
At least he has money in that because he's a doctor. He doesn't even have that here.
But I just am like, stop typecasting this poor man.
Yeah, he's not liked by audiences around the world.
Well, actually, he really grew on me in Grey's Anatomy.
I don't remember much about him other than he was not nice in the beginning, at least.
Yeah.
He ends up dating Amelia?
Yeah.
Anyway, different show. So it's a blind date, to be fair to Susan. But he immediately flops by remarking how hot Susan is, calling her old, making a racist joke, making a rectum joke, and even goes so far as to compare Susan to a Nazi, albeit playfully. So immediate flop.
It's not zinging, especially because Susan is used to dating someone with a very neutral personality.
Yes. So the date is truly a disaster, which ends with the two of them butting heads, literally, and ending up in the hospital, where we meet the walking green flag known as Dr. Ron.
Dr. Ron, but you shouldn't trust him because is his first name Ron or is his surname Ron?
I don't know. I mean, Ron, is that ever a surname?
Everything's a surname if you believe. Also, like, Doctor, wrong for you, Susan. Go back to Mike.
Ooh. So Susan takes Dr. Ron aside to beg him to admit her to the hospital for the night under any false pretense to get her out of this bad date. But even in the 2000s, I imagine hospitals were spread thin with the resources, and Dr. Ron takes his job seriously. He does, however, after a little more interaction with Mr. Halverston, decide to keep him a bit longer, giving Susan an out.
Yes, it is very classic Desperate Housewives, isn't it?
It's so classic because it's like you immediately know, well, Susan's going to be pursuing this. They don't have to tell you, you just know.
We then go to a blood drive on the lane, which is weird considering they've just found another body and now they're like, let's all take some blood. The girls, even MRLies says the girls are using this as kind of a situation where they can debrief with each other about the Applewhites. And they've said Betty has been so friendly since finding the body at her home. Mind that. The Detective Monroe was the body in question, by the way, for anyone who's didn't watch the recap like we did. We have a great interaction with Edie and Lynette. Edie looks amazing in this scene, by the way. But Edie says, I don't trust friendly women. And Lynette says, that's okay. They don't trust you either. And then there's a really, I understand it for a plot perspective, but it's so weird, where they say to Bree, you know a detective, referring to Big Bad Barton. And they're like, you said he's nice, right? And Bree says, my quote of the week, straight out of the park.
It was a good one.
Once he stopped suspecting me of murdering Rex, he was delightful.
Which is true.
Which is true. And actually, it's also how Jakub felt about Big Bad Barton.
It's true. Yeah, life imitates art.
Yes. Betty goes over to the girls and she's become an extrovert overnight. She is saying hi and the vibes are off. It is still Mean Girl cliquey. I know it's justified. There was clearly a murder in her house. Or what looked to be some sort of accidental murder. Something happened. So once Matthew and Betty... Can I start that bit again?
You can indeed.
Yes. So the girls are being a bit cliquey, which is somewhat justified, but also we know that they'd be cliquey anyway. So it still reads to me as a little bit icky. When we cut to Matthew and Betty, they're having a conversation about how they should move. Matthew's really pushing that they should get out of there. Betty, again, a very intelligent woman, says that they cannot immediately leave after this body is found on the street or it'll look extremely suspicious.
See, but I don't like what they've done with Betty this episode because, as you say, and I agree, Betty is extremely intelligent, but she's too clever to not realize that her suddenly being super friendly and neighborly is suspicious. She literally says to the girls, we should all go out and celebrate, which is crazy when she's clearly had no interest in interacting with the neighbors until this moment.
Yes.
Even in the previous episode where she gives them a big grin and a wave as the police are looking at the body, I'm like, why is she doing that? She's too smart to know that that's not suspicious. Yes. And it really bothered me because she does it through the whole episode, like to 200%.
I think it's because this is like her breaking point, and so her intelligence has slipped.
She's panicking.
I think she rolled an intelligence check and she failed it. And she's got a really high modifier, but it was a nat 1. They were gonna sorry, I just have to clarify in case people didn't watch the episode at home. Betty suggests they celebrate Susan's birthday, not the murder. Not the body.
Good clarification, thank you.
I keep calling it a murder, but in my head it is a murder. It's just murder by the stairs. It's like a termite murder.
The termites committed the murder. Get them in jail. Jail for the termites.
And I've always said that. By the way, Maggie wants nothing to do with us.
Yeah, she's hiding well behind that curtain.
That's her play area. Let me see. Hi, honey. So, next we have, I forgot how long this scene was. And I was waiting for you to do the next one. And then it was like, come on, yeah. And then stop with me.
Still at the blood drive.
We're still at the blood drive. Zach goes over to, I'm going to say blood lady.
Yeah.
And mentions that his blood type is super rare. And then we have this interaction of how weird that this super rare blood type is had by somebody else on the same street as you. Zach says who. The woman, again, breaks HIPAA laws and is like,
that's my note.
That man there. She's like, oh, that guy. Doesn't even say his name. She's like, this one. And Zach's like, that random guy who was bowling by himself and then awkwardly invited him to bowl with us? How weird.
Who... rumor had tried to murder my dad.
In the desert?
In the June desert, no less.
In the Dune desert? How weird.
Yeah, very just for the plot moment there.
It was so for the plot. And I understand why, because there's no good way, like it would make no sense for them to have DNA testing.
Yeah.
We know at this point where they're at in the story, Mike's keen not to get as involved at the moment. Paul really doesn't want him to get involved. They had to bring out outside forces.
And here we are. That's the outside force. In the next scene...
Bree is back with a gardening outfit.
I was like, what?
I was like, everyone, I'm home. After not watching this for a month.
I almost made a note about that, but she wasn't wearing a hat. And so I just didn't think it was as noteworthy.
I was sad about the lack of hat, but I was still so delighted.
That's fair. So after telling Matthew that they need a story as an excuse to sell the house, Betty approaches a gardening Bree to plant some seeds of her own. It is very obvious that they're like, here's the connection we're trying to make you all making at home. Yeah.
Stupid.
So Betty forces out some unnatural oversharing of an incredibly obvious lie about her relative in Chicago being sick and wanting to move closer or something like that.
Her mum.
This woman has lost all of her subtlety. And Bree does seem to show concern, but I think it's more out of politeness. And it seems almost like she wants to believe Betty, but she's clearly conflicted in any case because obviously there's been suspicious behavior.
My take was she was initially like, I don't believe you. But as a woman who's lost her mother, the second she said her mother, I do think I got a genuine vibe from her like, oh my God, if there's anything I can do. I think that's quite like a wound for Bree that maybe brought out some real feeling in her.
What take did you have, Desperados, on that? I'm genuinely curious because I think they're both very valid takes. So
yeah,
interesting.
That's kind of like the point of the podcast.
Yeah, but we agree on a lot.
I'm joking.
Don't be mean. Oh, you got a cat and suddenly you're
catty. Now I'm catty. Get it? Cat. Okay. That's like the entire point.
We're in the odd storylines, by the way. We're still going to do our arcs of the main ladies, but these were the odd scenes that didn't quite fit in.
Yeah, these were the odds and sods. So we see Mike visiting Noah, boss man Noah. He's dying, if you forgot, because I know I did. And Mike says he's been there every week, but Noah hasn't been conscious every week. So we're getting the sense that Noah's very, very close to the end of his life. And he definitely implies, or it's implied in the scene, that he is hanging on to find out what happened to Deirdre. And I think this is a moment of grace from Mike. Kind of trying to give him closure so that he can pass away. But more importantly, Mike is so hot in the leather jacket.
Okay, well, yeah, yes to the leather jacket. Completely disagree with you about moment of grace.
Well, see, I think that he knows if he tells him, which is actually, let's get there. Mike webs a bit of a story about a man called Todd Forrest, lol, a very Desperate Housewives now, who he says is a low-life drug dealer, and he's discovered that it was Todd that killed Deirdre. We know that's not the case. We know that's what what she did. Boss man Noah says he doesn't quite feel comforted by it. I think he instinctively knows that it's a lie, to be honest. And yeah, I think for me, Mike knows if he tells him in this moment, he will finally pass away. And he doesn't want to get boss man Noah in the Paul situation, potentially meeting Zach. And he's like, this is the kindest thing I can do for everybody, is to make up this lie.
Oh, I thought he lied purely from the perspective of protecting Zach, because obviously Noah's a dangerous man, literally hired Mike to kill someone. And he doesn't want Zach to get involved with Noah, basically. He wants him and Paul to be okay together and, you know.
Yeah. And it could be all of that.
But I suppose he does have some care for Noah because of the connection that he has to him and whatnot.
And I do believe, and he says it kind of like, oh, maybe I wasn't. But I do believe he's been at his bedside. There is a little bit of like, this man is dying. And I think Mike's got a bit of honor in him.
Oh, see, I've read it more as obligation.
Maybe. Well, grandfather of his kid.
True. I will say that Mike, as the worst detective ever, I suspect has pulled a fake name, Todd Forrest, out of thin air. I can only assume. Like, we don't know, but I assume he didn't find a real dead person to like pin it on and stuff.
No.
I assume he did the minimal work. And so, like, I think would not be a stretch to imagine that Noah would be double checking his working.
Yes.
And I don't think Mike has put enough effort into this. Now, that's purely assumption.
Your theory to me holds water, mainly because we know for a fact that Noah lives in the middle of a forest.
I bet his like security card at the door is called Todd.
Yeah, that's exactly what I imagine has happened.
Just literally on the way being like, right, I need to come up with a story.
His surname is Forrest.
Lock it in. It's canon now in the modded cinematic universe.
Something else interesting that we see is that boss man Noah, like Tom later, we'll get there, is a really bad patient to his nurse. He fires his nurse on the spot for not being able to get a vein. And also there is a little bit of a sense he's given up.
Very good. And we will get there. But for now, we're going to talk about Gabby. This plotline felt irrelevant. This was the least relevant of the plotlines in the episode.
A lot of them did this episode where I kind of went, have we entered a filler episode?
I think this is definitely the least relevant because Susan's arc with Dr. Ron goes on for a few episodes.
Yeah.
Bree has interaction with Betty, which is obviously main plot related, and Tom's was more engaging, at least I felt. And that, well, we'll get into Tom later. I have so much to say.
Yes.
But for now, we're going to talk about Gabby. So Ralph, the gardener, the lovable gardener we've all come to adore, approaches Gabby and confides in her that his wife left him. And it's sad at first, but then he starts going on about what sounds like a porn addiction he has as the cause. And so getting to the point eventually, Ralph has come to Gabby because he wants to bring to her attention that he has come across some naked photos of her on the internet too. Gabby's nudes have leaked.
They've leaked and they've got a printout.
And Ralph wants that printout autographed.
Yes. if this were set today, Ralph would have a VPN.
He absolutely would.
He absolutely would, babes. Yeah, I really enjoyed Gabby saying thank you, Ralph, for bringing this to my attention. Again, this is very much a comedy arc, played as a comedy arc. This is a nightmare for Gabby. And it's kind of played like, well, now we've got to cover it up, instead of like how horrendous and what a violation of privacy it is for someone to
Carlos is so casual about it in the next scene. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Scott, Gabby's ex-boyfriend, who she left for Carlos, has her nudes, and he is a photographer and is putting it on his website. She tries to ease Carlos into this information by saying, you know, I have something to tell you. You remember I have this boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, Carlos just goes, move, and looks at the images. Gabby comments on the content by admitting that she was freakishly flexible back then. That's just something I enjoyed in the writing.
What I enjoyed was we see a little bit of one of the pictures in the background on screen, and it's her in a little Santa hat, like with her head over her shoulder. It's really funny to me.
Yeah. So Carlos seems weirdly okay with it. Essentially kind of, you've made your mess, clean it up yourself. He tells Gabby he will not be her brute and just go to beat up Scott, that she has to do it herself and deal with it herself. And Gabby asks for his prison contact list.
It's actually, sorry, I got confused. It's actually Gabby who was wildly casual about it when she says that she gave these pictures to her ex. They were a gift. He owns them now. And I'm like, I don't think that gives him the right to share them publicly.
It doesn't. I think we're a lot more aware of kind of revenge porn than we were. And also this idea of just because you've given someone something doesn't mean they have the right to keep it when it comes to images of your body.
Yeah, I guess it was also just a lot less accessibly easy to share.
Well, you had to print it out.
Exactly, yeah.
Had to print it out.
Like, not everyone had the means of having a website to post photos back then.
Yeah, not everyone had an OnlyFans. Yeah. Gabby would have cleaned
oh my God, up
on OnlyFans.
She wouldn't need a man to get money.
I would have just, if I think in this scenario, on the assumption that I look like Gabby, and only on the assumption that I look like Gabby, if they're out there, I'm using them in OnlyFans. I might as well make some money out of it.
Hell
because
yeah.
also he is profiting off her naked body, which is what makes it worse to me. And I think they're trying to play it as like, oh, but she's already a model. And I don't care.
I'd be claiming royalties.
Yeah.
Big time. So, in order to invoke Carlos's rage towards men's attention on her, Gabby decides to perform some naked yoga on her porch for Ralph and the other gardener to see, whose name I forget.
It's Louis.
Thank you.
But also, just before we get there, if you don't mind, do we think that Carlos is not being rageful because he knows for a fact Scott's straight?
I was going to bring this up later. Yes, it's actually his homophobic rage that Gabby needs to try and trigger. Yes.
That's what he means when he says, I'm trying to be a good Catholic later in the
episode. Excellent content. Distracted by Gabby's nakedness, Ralph accidentally cuts off one of the other Louis's finger with a hedge trimmer. And this man has the most insane reaction. Like his finger got cut off. I get it. I'd be freaking out too. But like, it's just so over the top even for that. It was so funny. Like I can't possibly recreate it. Anyone who has not watched the episode, I implore you just to find that scene and listen to that sound.
I know it's funny because I don't often like physical comedy in the same way that I like dialogue. And it's the bit after where Ralph just immediately drops the floor, so chill, and says, I've written it down, don't worry, man, I'll find it. And he's like clawing at the grass. It's like, don't worry, man, I'll find it. But maybe that comes with the territory.
Maybe.
When he next sees John the gardener and he's got trimmers for hands. He's like Edward Scissorhands. Wolverine.
Do you mean Louis?
No, I meant John, the adult card there.
Okay. Oh, my quote of the week is in this next scene.
Oh my God, don't spoil it.
Ooh, on you go.
Carlos and Gabby pull up to Scott's, who's living in like a shack lodge type of thing. And Carlos is saying he doesn't want to hurt the man. Eventually, he smiles after Gabby and him have this conversation where she's saying, you were the person that a man couldn't even look at me. Where is that man? He's saying, I'm trying not to be that person anymore. But then I think there is a bit where he's like, I still have that protective feeling over you. So he smiles to himself and says, I'm going to go over there and just talk rationally and get those pictures back for you. Because he does love her and he does see that it's upsetting her. Oh wait, no, that's the end of the scene.
Okay. Well, I will flag that because he's obviously talking a lot about how, he's a Catholic, he's going to church, he's really trying hard to be a better person. And my quote of the week is then Gabby says, in reference to getting Carlos to beat him up, so do this today and go to an extra long mass tomorrow.
Yes. And that we all know that's how it works.
Yeah. So in the next scene, Carlos confronts the guy and basically gets straight to the point. I don't know why. I just assumed this was like his studio rather than where he lived.
Oh.
I didn't think about it too
I thought it might be both. The main thing, my main note for this scene is this man we see throughout the series, men, like Gabby's kind of type. I think it's fair to say. And this man is not, I cannot picture Gabby with this person.
My assumption is that because he is a photographer and it was before she met Carlos and she was a model that he helped her kind of get a head start in the industry or something. And that's maybe why she was with him.
You're so right, because this is coming back to me. I think she has a line about that episodes and episodes ago where she says, and kind of implies that she dated the photographer in order to get pictures so that to kind of work her way up.
Absolutely. So the ex has no problem taking the photos down, claiming that Gabby's pics weren't that popular anyway, and that she isn't, quote, internet pretty.
Which is very difficult to believe when you're looking at Eva Longoria.
So cut to the ex being thrown through the window and Gabby being relieved in the knowledge that Carlos still loves her. And it is so messed up that the only way she can feel like she is loved is through physical violence that Carlos is giving out to the men's. But that's a much deeper conversation that isn't worth getting into for this scene.
We know very much, and Gabby said it a lot of times, that she's very attracted to Carlos's possessiveness of her. She said this with the lawyer as well when he went to kiss her. She was like, Carlos wouldn't even let another man look at me, like touch me. Like she really enjoys this, like, I'm his element of their relationship. I really like Carlos being like, don't you say that about my wife. My wife is perfect. Scott says something so disgusting that I genuinely think that Carlos was more than justified with his violence. Like sometimes I'm like, the violence is being played as comedic, but it's a bit intense. Scott says, no, my real man's gonna waste tissue on that. Sir? That is disgusting.
It's pretty crass.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, well, spoiler for the husband ranking, but Carlos, you've gone up. You're doing well. But she literally says when she sees it, Gabby goes, now that's my guy.
Crazy.
Looking at it like she's looking at a sunset.
Let's talk about Susan, who has another comedy arc, but has more long-lasting implications, at least.
Yes. Dr. Ron wants to do a follow-up with Susan, and Susan is like, oh, he wants to follow up. He must have a crush on me. But she's like, maybe I should no, I shouldn't ask him. Maybe I should. And she's talking to Julie about this.
Of course.
Her reluctance comes from the fact that Dr. Ron is a younger man and Susan is not starring on Cougar Town. Julie is keen on Susan masking him out and says, so good, that Susan is desperate and guys are clearly into that and that she should play to her strengths.
I love Julie, the Vampire Slayer. Can we actually just have a moment of silence for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot that is no more? Anyway, so in the next scene,
So much has happened since we've been gone.
Susan is back at the hospital for her follow-up appointment post bad date headbutt. She's only seen by a nurse though, since there's nothing serious, and so naturally Susan is devastated at the lack of Dr. Ron in her life, and she decides to fake nausea, chills, and tingling in order to see him.
And muscle spasms.
Thank you.
Involuntary muscle spasms.
She's truly just pulling symptoms out of thin air. When Dr. Ron does see her, she flirts so hard and drops so many hints about going out. But Dr. Ron is all business and books her in for an MRI.
Which, by the way, probably costs her, because we're talking about America here, a fortune. A fortune.
Oh my God.
All I could think about during this scene is there's a really, really, really early episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And Kim Kardashian says, so I'm dropping hints that I'm single. And it cuts to her talking to this guy and she's going, I'm single.
Oh my God, that's so Susan. Do you think Dr. Ron was intentionally ignoring her hints or just not picking up on them because he was so in the zone?
I get the impression that Dr. Ron takes his job extremely seriously, and he gives me a little bit of like a Wonder Boy type of thing. Like it's his special subject. It's his focus. It's what he wants. And I do think he had chemistry initially with Susan in the first scene. By the second scene, he's like, these symptoms and they don't make sense.
Susan would have no respect for the pressures on the NHS if she were in the UK.
Let me tell you, if she were in the UK, she'd not be getting that MRI. She'd be getting 2 paracetamol.
No, she'd be getting that MRI. Home. She would just be hearing about it in like 3 years when she gets through the waiting list.
Did I tell you I'm on the ADHD waiting list and I forgot?
You did not. How long is the waiting list? Because I heard in like East Lothian it's like 10 years. Well, not even a joke.
I've been on it for 4 years now. But I truly forgot.
Did you get a reminder recently? Is it nearly your time?
No, it was like my doctor was like, you have to follow that up because if you move. Susan is back in for her MRI. And I love that she has chosen to be smoking hot for this MRI. She's here to flirt. She's here to flirt. I did find this scene funny.
It was very funny.
So essentially, they've given her a dust cover for the MRI machine, which she is mistaken for a robe. Dr. Ron walks into kind of the area that the doctors are in the MRI room behind the glass. And
it's like a one-way mirror glass situation, so Susan doesn't know she's being watched.
Yes, and Susan is in a beautiful piece of the Wisteria Lane lingerie collection, if I could say so myself.
Say it louder.
Terry Hatcher's body, unbelievable. Borderline, how dare you? Right? So Dr. Ron goes over the intercom and lets her know that she did not have to get undressed for this. It is absolutely mortifying. It is absolutely Susan.
She's like trying to wrap this sheet around her like it's a piece of clothing. It's so funny.
Oh, we cut to her in the MRI machine. I've had an MRI and I felt like they were a lot tighter than this. Like I think it was more...
I've had an MRI too, but so long ago I barely remember.
Yeah. We get some... I didn't know if I was going to talk about this on the pod. But I'm gonna.
Ooh.
Weird shots of her feet. Really weird shots of her feet and toes wiggling that we did not need.
I didn't even clock it.
Do you remember the Gabby episode with all those feet shots?
I do.
Is it the same director? If so, you should be on a list. So, Susan is in the MRI machine talking to Dr. Ron, saying, hey, you know what? Let's just have dinner, and shoots her shot for an Italian restaurant. Dr. Ron pies it. The MRI tech speaks instead, saying that Dr. Ron left after he got a phone call from his girlfriend. Susan wants to get out, but she simply must continue with the MRI.
Does everyone know what pies it means?
Oh, I don't. Oh.
I feel like that's a Scottish thing.
That is a Scottish thing. I didn't even think about that. So to pie somebody,
just ignore them, basically.
Yeah. I think it might be a UK thing.
Okay. I'm never confident in what's specifically Scottish versus a UK word.
Yeah. So if somebody doesn't answer your text, they've pied you.
Yeah. Or you could say dinghied as well. Same effect.
Dinghied is definitely Scottish.
Now, about this scene, I love Susan's confidence here in asking Dr. Ron out, even if it is a bit cringe because, he was taking a call from his girlfriend. But, that's not Susan's usual vibe. And I like that she shot her shot.
Yeah. And I like that she shot her shot. I'm like, you didn't have to waste all this money.
Yeah. And time.
I'm going to look
resources.
up right now how much an MRI costs
in 2005.
In general.
There is another money thing we need to translate, but I forgot what it is. It'll come up. I've got it in my notes somewhere.
An MRI scan in the USA typically costs...
Oh my God, can I guess? Wait, is this in today?
This is today.
I'm going to say $8,000.
Between $400, because, you can get it in one part, and $12,000.
Jesus Christ.
With a national average of roughly 1,325 to 2,000.
Susan listed a lot of symptoms as well, so they're checking for a lot.
That's what I mean, because I had a partial MRI on my... I was going to say lower region, which sounds a lot more intimate than it was. I didn't even the lower half of my body.
Well, Dr. Ron shows up at Susan's the next day to talk, not over the phone. Dr. Ron...
Weird.
Yeah.
Why is he doing a house call?
Yeah. Dr. Ron has been up all night trying to figure out what's wrong with Susan because, as we know, he takes his job seriously, but nothing makes sense with her symptoms because they are not real. Susan comes clean about making up her symptoms in order to see him, and he is rightfully mad.
Yeah, they've used time, resources that could have gone to other sick people. He is clearly the type of person that fixates on things. I will say that I'm pretty sure any doctor worth their stuff, if they have no idea what's wrong with someone, would at least entertain the idea, I'm not saying they should, but even entertain the idea that the symptoms are not correct.
Now, Susan is still somehow trying to flirt with this man.
She's really going for it.
His anger, despite the fact that at this point she believes he has a girlfriend.
Yep.
It's a pretty wild choice, I would say. As it would turn out, though, he in fact is single and also apparently finds eczema to be a deal breaker.
I'm like, this poor woman with eczema. I like the idea that they were in a really, really committed 5-year-long relationship and she phoned and was like, I found out what was my skin thing, eczema, and he just hung up.
So Susan is, despite that potentially red flag, is throwing herself at this man again in this new knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, I think they did a thing on purpose at the top of the episode with Julie and Susan, because this wouldn't have made any sense had Julie not said, clearly men are attracted to how desperate you are.
And I actually think she looks more desperate in this scene than she did sobbing in the middle of the street in a wedding dress in a previous episode.
I agree.
But somehow it works, and Dr. Ron angrily suggests sushi. And as he's leaving, Dr. Ron drops the info that Susan's MRI revealed she has a wandering spleen. He says it's not a big deal, but I remember it becoming a big deal, so we'll see when we get there. Yeah, so
surgery is usually necessary for a wandering spleen from the quick Google that I had.
Also, question, what is a spleen? Because I genuinely don't know.
Is it not like...
Yeah, Erin, what is it?
Okay, so you know in your back... Like your back, you got your bone in your back.
Aye.
And then you've got the thing that has all the nerves that goes into the body that comes from the back but isn't the bone. That's your spleen.
Is it?
Let's find out.
Yeah, I think this one.
This might be getting cut because I don't want to look stupid. The spleen is a fist-sized, soft organ located in the upper left abdomen behind the ribs, acting as a crucial component of the immune system and blood filtration system.
Does it have a different name in the UK? And is that just like an American term for like your liver or something?
No, it's definitely not the liver.
Hey guys, we're creatives. We're not doctors. We're not scientifically minded. Give us a break. And that's Susan.
I think, well, is it? Because... a wandering spleen, aka splenoptosis, is a rare condition where the spleen lacks its supporting ligaments, allowing it to move from the upper left abdomen to other areas, often the pelvis. Surgery is typically needed, and I'll give you some more. You have to fixate the spleen in its normal position through surgery to prevent overwhelming post-splenectomy sepsis.
Oh
and I do know what sepsis is.
Sepsis is a scary word.
Sepsis is no joke, folks.
Scary, lemon, scary.
Scary, lemon, scary. Like, when your sis gets sept, sis, don't get sept.
Don't get sepsis.
Oh.
Susan's in for a wig.
Susan's in for such a wig.
A wandering wig.
Oh. Hear ye, quarantine. Tom has quarantined the children inside the house because they have the chicken pox, and he tells Lynette to come home from work. He said there was an emergency, and he says that he has never had it and does not want to get it. He is a baby when he is sick. Okay, get a grip and grow up. And then he said, last time I had strep, we ended up in marriage counselling because I was so bad. So do you really want? And it's kind of like goading her into taking time off of work to take care of the children, even though he is more than capable. And as Lynette points out, chickenpox is not that big of a deal for him. And if you can't tell where I'm going with this, what? Are we all right? Did we really allow this on television and have people be like, I'm rooting for Tom?
Now, I will, this is aside from this talk, take Tom out of it for a second.
I would love to.
So let's take Tom out for a second. I do remember hearing my whole life that chickenpox is really dangerous for adults that haven't had it before.
Is it because it can become shingles?
I don't know, but I have heard that. And so my question is that true? Because is this, I'm not justifying getting Lynette to come back and trying to go to her into time off work, especially when Mrs. McCluskey is right across the road and has literally babysat before, I think. And so I'm like, there's alternatives. He could have found a babysitter. He could have called Mrs. McCluskey, talked to a neighbor. So I'm not defending Tom in terms of getting Lynette home, but I do think he's potentially justified in being nervous about the chicken pox.
You do have a higher risk of complications, but I personally thought, and I could be very wrong here, I thought the real worry is if you're elderly. And it's the more adult you get, the more severe symptoms you get. You don't want an elderly person to get chickenpox for the first time.
I do think it was like a stereotype on TV shows, though, that you shouldn't get chickenpox. Because is there not a plotline in Friends where someone has chickenpox and it's like, I can't be near you and stuff?
Yeah, that's Phoebe with the Charlie Sheen. It is.
I know it is. Oh my God.
But yeah, I just think this entire thing of how much of a baby I am when I'm ill. I get being a baby when you're ill. I'm a bit of a baby when I'm ill. If I have responsibilities, congratulations, I can't be ill.
Also, just you mentioned the throwaway line that I think was meant to just be there as a joke when he mentions the marriage counselling in the past. I just found it interesting that they have done marriage counselling in the past because that's a good thing. I would think that they're willing to do that. Oops, I dropped the toy. But anyway, I don't think it's ever really elaborated on.
No.
It was just a passing comment. But I just found it interesting that they thought that's part of these characters. They've done marriage counselling before because they didn't strike me as the type who would do that necessarily.
Yeah. I got the sense when Tom was working that he didn't have time for anything but work. So I'm surprised that he had time for counselling.
Well, in the next scene, a conversation arises between Tom and Lynette about the fact that chickenpox can lead to sterility. Is that how you say it? Sterility in grown men. And Lynette is confused because they're not planning to have any more kids. But Tom, to put it far more bluntly than he does, essentially wants the option should Lynette pass away that he could remarry and have kids.
The way I would murder this man. So anyway, this scene is already sexually charged because it's Carlos and Tom talking over the fence just after Carlos and Lynette have kissed. And frankly, I think Carlos has a bit of a vibe. He's like, hi, Lynette, right?
I did think that too.
He's giving her the eye. And I'm like, if I were Lynette and Rory did that to me, I would leap over that fence and start making out with Carlos immediately.
Right. The chickenpox stuff, fine. We're going to disagree on this aspect of the plotline, I fear. He does phrase it in a way that applies to either of them being in that worst case scenario position, not specific to him. But either way, Lynette is not happy that Tom has actively thought about this. And I gotta say, I am on Tom's side here because it feels like Lynette is pushing the narrative that Tom has his whole second family planned out in his mind and like fantasizing about the day she passes away, which clearly isn't the case. And to be honest, I think I would be the same in the sense that life isn't a fairy tale and shit happens, and to not want to eliminate such a huge option, I think is normal.
I think you're giving Tom too much credit.
Of course you do.
I think, and again, I'm slightly swayed by what we see in the future. I'm very swayed by Tom in like the pilot. When Lynette says she doesn't want to be on birth control anymore because she's so bloated, he says, let's risk it. I think Tom does not take the concept of children seriously. And so he should not be even, he shouldn't be making this choice, frankly, or worried about being sterile, because his entire thing is like, oh, maybe I'll get another woman pregnant. It's like having children means nothing to him. In some ways, because he's not taking it seriously. He's not planning it. And my main note through the scene, because I didn't know where it was going at first, was why has Tom not had a vasectomy at this point? What a horrible husband. I'm sorry. I'm getting into it. What a horrible husband that your wife is drowning. You can tell that she is drowning for the entire first season. Even now, you're kind of drowning in the housework and whatnot. She very clearly is saying she doesn't want more children. A vasectomy, as a reminder for the people at home, is a reversible procedure.
I didn't know that.
It is a reversible procedure, and it is an outpatient procedure, Jakub, which means you can go in and then be out the same day. It's not like having your tubes tied, for example, which is you have to be like in the hospital and go under and all that. A reversible procedure that he is not having. It pisses me off. He's also saying things like, let's risk it. He's also saying things like, oh, maybe, and again, it's like, I also read it's not necessarily that he's planning a future with another woman, which I guess is Lynette's concern. But for me, it's like, why are you ever letting there be a possibility that you and I will end up having more children?
Well, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit in terms of the vasectomy chat, which we'll get to. But I mean, I agree with you in the aspect of he clearly doesn't take the concept of children as big a deal and as seriously as Lynette does, which is true. And equally to that, I think that, I mean, I just think that I personally have become a lot less romantically minded over the years and do not think about, and I do think about relationships much more pragmatically now. I'm just surprised that Lynette doesn't, because she's such a pragmatic lady for the most part. Like,
I get it.
If she was arguing in this scene, I'm nervous about us getting pregnant again, that would be fair. But she's not. Like you say, she's focusing on the other family aspect of it. And so that's where my notes are coming from.
I'm very biased towards Lynette's side of this. Completely say that. To me, there's also like what is not being said in the scene. And perhaps that's a part I'm reading too much into. He is saying, I cannot currently take care of our sick children and I'm forcing you to take time off work and stay at home because one day I may want to have children with someone else.
When you put it like that.
That's how it reads to me. I cannot currently take care of our baby and our children in there because maybe one day you will die and I will want to get another woman pregnant. Of course, Lynette's going mental. Are we okay?
I will say by the end of the arc, I understand Lynette more in this. But yeah, we'll get there. So let's move on to the next scene.
Lynette says that if she dies in a plane crash, because she's assumed in her head that it's a plane crash, she does not want Tom to move on. She doesn't want to think about a future where they're not together and they don't have each other. And she expresses that it's painful to hear about what she sees as Tom having a backup plan. She asks him to have a vasectomy. He immediately is like, you're being crazy. Once again, I would like to bring up that it is an outpatient procedure and it is reversible.
Is it commonly known that it's reversible? Because I really didn't know that.
Yes. It's also a thing of there's not many forms of birth control that are non-hormonal that are out there that are as effective as something like a vasectomy that is also not invasive. The next scene, because they're really tied together, to be honest. Will we go into the next one to kind of talk about it more as a concept?
Sure.
That's okay.
I mean, all I'll say on that aspect of the scene, which, I mean, knowing it's reversible now and that's a more commonly known thing, I'm not as strong on this point, but I did write that, like, you know, Lynette is... I didn't think Lynette was being reasonable at the time of making these notes for asking Tom to essentially alter his body to calm her stress about the other family part of it all, which Tom was not pushing in any way. But anyway, let's continue the scene. Tom comes home from his vasectomy, but he, in fact, did not get the procedure. He went to get it, chickened out, came back.
Yeah.
He essentially doesn't want to feel any further emasculated, he says. He doesn't make the money anymore. He doesn't provide for her and the kids, etc., which, you know, was his decision. I don't think that's the best reasoning, and it's not why I was on Tom's side earlier, but he acknowledges that the thinking is irrational and comments that if she expects her to calm her irrational fears, then he expects her to calm his too.
Which I think is a valid point.
And Lynette realizes that Tom, in this scene, Lynette realizes that Tom is in fact unhappy, generally speaking. And the tone of the scene becomes very serious suddenly. And see, this is where I start to get mixed feelings, because I want to feel sympathy for Tom, because he does seem in this scene like he is genuinely unhappy and his feelings are valid. But he went through this in season 1 when he was unhappy as the provider. Now he's unhappy being a stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
And I know for sure it isn't the last time that he's going to uproot the entire family's life because he's changed his mind about what he wants. And I'd probably feel more sympathy for him in this scene if I hadn't seen the rest of the show and knew it was a pattern for him to make big changes based on where his emotions are in the moment. It's like rinse and repeat. And so if we're being really honest, it's probably not his employment status making him unhappy. Like, if we're being real, it sounds like it's the family that's not making him happy, because that's the one constant through all of these changes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I wouldn't even go as far as it's the family. I think there is something deeply wrong with this man. And I'm not just saying that as a joke. I think there is something so wrong with this man. I think he feels entitled to a life that is unattainable for him. And he's constantly coveting things without having the drive and ambition to back it up. I think he has married a person who he wants to be. And
who does have that drive and ambition.
Who does those things and is everything he wants to be, but he resents her for being a woman doing it. And I think it's because he does believe, hand on heart, that a woman's place, that Lynette should be providing and should be producing all of his children, and he should be able to be like Lynette. And it's like they're constantly clashing over and over again on this. And again, when you have this dynamic where people say Lynette is controlling, this is where I look at, because this man needs to be controlled. He needs to be in the pound. He needs to, I hate him.
I think because I did start this arc feeling like Lynette was in the wrong, but I think that in this scene, I understand now, or I take to understand that Lynette is picking up on all of these insecurities and stuff that Tom has. Sorry, on all of these feelings that Tom has, and that's why she's feeling so insecure about the whole backup plan of it all. And that I could understand more once we got to this point.
And understand that he is such a man who just follows his whims in the moment.
And again, I think if it was an isolated incident, I would be so
defending
Tom. But it is the amount of time he's completely uprooted this family is kind of wild.
And I think he doesn't want to talk about it. Lynette's like, let's talk this out. And he walks away from her. I'm not saying don't have a time to gather your thoughts. I'm just saying that, like, Lynette is very open in this moment and, like, let's think about this, let's solve it. And he is turning away from that. Something else I want to note is, so we've heard earlier in the episode that Tom is only in the house for showering and for sleeping. They make a point of saying that.
Oh, like during the chicken pox thing?
Yes. Lynette is up working. You see all the work stuff in front of her. Lynette is working at night. She's scrambling. Like, clearly, she is somehow doing both. And there is not one bit of gratitude in this man. There's not. He's not, like, it's ridiculous.
Do we think, maybe this is, like, delving too deep, but do we think Tom needs some antidepressants, maybe? Like, because it feels like no matter what he tries, he's still sad.
Yeah, I don't even know if I don't know. Maybe it's a chemical imbalance. Maybe it's just that I get the sense that he thinks his life, he's owed that his life should be, he's a top flyer, he's super successful, he's got the beautiful hot wife, because again, he's expressed he wants the Brie Vandekamp treatment. He's expressed that he wishes he could have got a girl like Gabby in high school. He's constantly coveting and not seeing how magical his life is and how lucky he is. And nothing's going to teach him that.
That's true.
Oh.
Yikes.
Well,
let's move on to a light. Is it a lighter scene? I don't know. Arc.
It's a light lunch.
Let's get into it. This is Brie, baby.
Why on earth are Brie and Big Bad Barton having lunch together? It's so inappropriate.
It's so unprofessional.
Barton, rightfully, is there like, oh, she's invited me out. Interesting. There must be a reason. And Brie's like, there is. I want you to illegally run a background check on my neighbors because they're a bit odd. And again, Barton rightfully says, that's insane. I simply can't do that.
And unrightfully is there thinking that it's a date, which is equally wild.
He says he thought through their time together that he and Brie had a vibe when he was accusing
her of murder.
He was accusing her of murder.
I thought he was here to arrest Brie for the necklace she was wearing.
It was a minging necklace, man.
It looked like a spider that was clinging onto her chest, and it upset me deeply. Anyway.
Do you think it was meant to look like a Black Widow? Because he thought she was No, because he thought she was a Black Widow.
Totally. That could so be true. That is incredible. Another moment of, are we giving the writers too much credit? Or are we just insane with the details? Right.
But yeah, Barton saying that he thought he and Brie had a vibe. I'm just trying to remember any of the conversations they had. There's the one where she has her weird sex doll out and she's extremely uncomfortable. There's the one where they're talking over Rex's body. There's the one where she's had a lie detector test. Like, at what point? But you know what I really would have liked? And I'm starting to see it now in my mind's eye. Slut Lawyer and Brie. Yes. Now that would have been a time. That would have been a time if she had been, if she'd needed a lawyer and he was the lawyer.
Oh, it's a shame we never bring Slut Lawyer back.
We were wrong.
Indeed.
After Barton said that he thought he and Brie had a vibe, he reads her for filth. Brie says, no, I just was really hoping you'd look into the Applewhites because I have a sixth sense about people. And Barton's like, respectfully, you got engaged to the man who murdered your husband.
It's true. It's true.
It's facts. Also, as someone who has been on an accidental date, this is a highly believable storyline.
I'm going to see that guy this week.
Tell him I say hello.
We cut to the end of the lunch. Barton offers to give Brie a lift home because she's had some drinks with the meal and is clearly a little bit tipsy. We as the audience can see that.
Marsha Cross, once again, because you've said it before, I just want to reiterate it. I really noticed it this episode.
Say it again.
She plays intoxicated so well. It's not too much. It feels ever so slightly elevated, ever so slightly chatty, where you go, it's like uncanny valley.
Yeah, it's like she's so good at the levels of it, but she's not off her face drunk swaying. It's like you know exactly how tipsy she is.
Yes.
It's incredible.
So good.
So Bree, however, takes it as Barton trying to go home with her and is offended, ignores him and leaves to drive home, clearly under the influence, and which is just a wild choice.
It's
and
disgusting.
She deserves what happens in the next scene.
It's completely disgusting. I do like that Bree's a classy lady at the beginning, and she's like, this was my misunderstanding. This was my fault. Allow me to pay the bill. Like that. I also like the detail that Big Bad Barton is a competent detective. And he says, when she says, I've only had 2 glasses of wine, he said, you've had 3 glasses of wine and there was alcohol in your... He has clocked straight away. And I really like the way, as painful as this arc is and becomes, that we see the trickle effect of Bree's alcoholism. It's like this random thing from episode 1 of season 2 that really is like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's the scary movie hat on the person on the person that's until you can't avoid it, where you're like, I've always known she was an alcoholic and you haven't. It's just been drip fed. Or even Andrew talking about the wine. At first kind of just feels like, oh, she's drinking more than usual to cope with the pain. And it's this moment where you go, uh-oh, Scoop. Ooh. So, don't drink and drive. Not even as a joke. I'm not going to make any jokes about drinking and driving because it's not funny. Next. Actually, I forget what I just said because I did write a joke and I just saw it right now. I just wrote the Fast and Furious spin-off, Drunk and Disorderly, is taking place in Reprise.
I'm keeping all of that in. That is so funny.
Look,
I'm obsessed. You're a man of... you're a woman of many, I don't know, scary movie hats. Let's
be misgendered in your own house. It'd be your own friends. I bought this man an Easter egg. So, Bree is in the car and the police car pulls up. It's Barton. He says he was following her home and she was weaving in the traffic. Marsha Cross is so funny in this scene. And it shouldn't be funny, but it is just the pure performance of her being so charming and like, I don't know. Like there's just like a tiny little bit of gravel in her tone. She's just really fun to watch, even when Bree is doing horrible things. Then Barton takes a little leaf out of Maisie Gibbons' book and he asks Bree, cuffs or rope, and handcuffs her and is taking her to
Cuffs or Rope Part 2, episode title. The sequel.
Big Bad Barton says cuffs or rope. But again, it's so funny that you called him the villain of the season. I'm like, what a good man doing his job.
The villain of Julie the Vampire Slayer,
Yes.
not the villain of Desperate Housewives, to be clear.
Imagine if you did say of Desperate Housewives, the real villain here is the justice system. I would so agree with you. I'd be like, you know what, it is corrupt. Anyway.
So we're now in a jail cell with Bree and another presumably sex worker who has assumed that Bree is there for the same reason and in the same profession and is in awe of her for her whole classy repressed thing she's got going on.
Which
Pretty
is a
funny.
thing.
It's pretty funny. The sex worker pushes Bree for details on her operation and is asking how much she charges a night. This is what the money thing was. And tired of trying to convince this woman that she isn't a sex worker, Bree just lies and makes up a number to end the conversation, saying she charges $5,000 a night, which seems like a lot to me, even on the higher end. I mean, I don't know how much that goes for typically, but like...
That's $8,366 dollars and 23 cents today.
Crazy.
I will say that she says, what are you having to do for that?
Now, if you were in Bree's position and you were making up a number to end this conversation, what number would you throw out per night in today's money, in pounds?
I think I would try and say something like, I don't want to undersell myself, but I don't want to oversell myself. But if I
Welcome to any freelancer's nightmare.
Yeah, right. I'm going to say 10 But for me to stay overnight, there's an additional fee.
10,000, I assume.
Correct.
Okay. I think I'm just jaded because there's a lot of guys on Grindr who will unsolicited message you and be like, oh, £10 for a XYZ. And I'm just like, that. Even if I was interested, that seems exceedingly low.
I think I would go high and then, you know, if needed.
Start with highball, we can negotiate down, yeah.
We can negotiate down, we could remove some things. Like I imagine it like a very large bill. And a bit like you go, well, I didn't touch the minibar. That gets taken off. That type of thing.
So Bree has made bail, but her car has been impounded and she doesn't want to call a friend to reveal the scenario that she's gotten herself into. And so she's walking home alone at night and Bree is offered a lift by a passing Betty Applewhite. And so Bree has to admit her situation to Betty, but, you know, just gets on with it because she needs a lift home at the end of the day.
It's so funny watching her be like, oh, I have a flat tire. And Betty's like, I can change the tire. And she goes, well, also there was something wrong with my engine. I have Auto Club.
Yeah, and it's just because Betty's been so overly friendly this episode.
She's trying so hard to be a friend and trying so hard to get along with these women. So it's just really funny having both those things colliding in this way until Bree eventually has to confess, look, my car's been impounded. Then we get a wild scene, which I do think, I'm going to read it as Betty is not meaning this, but is trying anything to be a yes person and say what Bree needs to hear. Bree is saying she wants Betty's silence, and Betty's like, people get DUIs. It happens. I'm choosing to believe that's her doing that thing where you have a close friend, and sometimes there are just those friends who, no matter what you say, will be like, you know what? And you should have murdered him. But Bree gets defensive, as Bree often does, and is like, well, you're good at keeping secrets, and starts listing about the body and how they moved in the middle of the night and the noises. And this is such a small thing. I realize that. Can I just say that I do not care for Bree referring to Matthew and Betty specifically as you people. Did not like it. It felt like an aggression to me.
That's fair. I just thought it must have been very cathartic for Bree to let Betty have it after all the sort of like gossiping about the Applewhites that there's been.
Yeah. What was interesting then is Betty immediately calls Edie, and late at night to meet her first thing in the morning to sell her house. And I think in another life, if Edie had been the person to pull up, she could have had a very similar conversation with Bree.
True. I wrote that it was insane for Betty to call Edie inappropriately late just to be like, let's talk tomorrow. Yeah. Just call her tomorrow.
I need to come to your place first thing in the morning. I want to sell my house. I get it. Again, for plot purposes, it doesn't make any sense. I think even if we'd seen her drafting a nice email.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or phoning Matthew saying, you're right. We need to meet Edie.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
We need to meet Edie tomorrow.
Get in that writer's room. So Bree,
I would love to.
So Bree has come home to find a voicemail from Big Bad Barton. He feels bad about the other day and did, in fact, do a bit more snooping on the Applewhites.
Which is crazy.
But we've already established from the fact he thought he was going on a date with Bree that he's okay to, you know, do inappropriate things in his job. But in any case, he reveals to Betty that the dead man found...
Bree.
Yes, he reveals to Bree that the dead man found in front of their house was a detective from Chicago, the same place that Bree claimed to be moving back to. And Bree notices. She clocks that right on.
She said, Chicago? Interesting. We get our final voiceover. Mary Alice says, illnesses can take on many forms. Those of the body are easy to treat. And we see Lynette taking care of the kids. Much more difficult are the hidden maladies that fester in our hearts. And we see Tom in the background, keeping his distance, being a horrible father. The secret addictions that consume our souls. And we see Ralph, presumably looking at pornography. And the diseases we deny which affect our judgment. And this is the confirmation that Bree's an alcoholic because she's taking some alcohol and this connection being made of the disease of it. Mary Alice then says, to survive, we need to find that special someone who can heal us. And Susan shows up to the hospital for Dr. Ron with a muffin basket that I think Bree made for her.
And I believe it.
Susan can't cook.
I believe it, absolutely. It's either that or she bought it.
Yeah.
But I think more likely.
Bree did it as a favour.
Yeah.
Boss man Noah we see having some of his final moments with his new nurse. And he comments that where the other nurse couldn't find a vein, she's done a great job and made it quite a pain-free experience for him. And Mary Alice says, but we can never predict who will have a cure for what ails us or when they'll show up. And the nurse is Felicia. It's honestly, it redeemed quite a mediocre episode for me.
Yes, thank you. I was literally like, this is quite a boring episode. And then at the end of the episode, I was like, this is the best episode.
No notes.
It makes me so excited for the next few episodes because I've been waiting for a girl to come back.
There's a lot of puzzle pieces now lining up. There's a lot of players on the board. And I do think that they've done very well this season with the moving of Paul around Mike, around Noah, around Felicia. Like, this is working. And Zach now is making connections. And now Felicia is coming back. I am intrigued.
Not the nurse I wanted at the start of the episode, but the nurse we needed.
The nurse we needed. Felicia and Nurse Heisel are definitely best friends.
Oh my God. I want to see them have coffee together so bad.
Oh my God. But also Felicia's back in her... She's in the kind of haircut she had when she was a nurse from the flashbacks that we saw in the season finale. Like the little black bob that Angelica Houston, the Pashmina, that's gone. She's rebranded. Bye, Felicia.
New season, new me. Who was your worst neighbour, Erin?
I was going to ask you that.
Mine was Betty for calling Edie so late at night unnecessarily.
That's a very good one. I kind of feel like it's our main clique for only donating blood so that they can go be together to gossip about everybody else.
So fair. So fair.
I would say the monster of the week.
I gave it to Bree for drunk driving.
I think you're right.
That's not cool. It's not funny, but it's real.
No, it is real. Also, can we stop letting the Van de Kamps drive?
How many must perish before their licenses are taken?
It has been 0 episodes since the last Van de Kamp
driving incident.
Let's stop. No, yeah, I don't like that.
I think obviously the fashion moment of the week, Wisteria Fashion Police, was the Wisteria lingerie reveal.
It was. Second place was Edie's blood donor outfit.
Absolutely valid.
So cute, so cute. And I did like Bree's gardening outfit as well.
Of course, honourable note. I only had Tom and Carlos in the husband rankings because Mike is only in that scene with Noah and doesn't really contribute anything in a husbandly way.
I mean, he contributes his AB negative blood, which is important for the plot, but in little else.
Nothing in regards to Susan and husband ranking vibes.
Yeah.
And obviously Bree, we're not putting Big Bad Bart in for husband ranking. So,
do you know your blood type?
I don't.
And it's really weird that they just don't tell you. Like, I've had a freedom of information request.
I've been told. My mum's told me before. I just don't retain the information because I never need it.
Well, I've had a freedom of information request and I have my complete medical records and it's not on there.
Oh.
Why are they gatekeeping our blood types? I truly don't understand. I mean, I think if I give blood, then I can.
That's how they get you.
That's odd. But I remember when I was young, my mum was like, oh, don't worry about it. You have my blood. And Mum, I love you dearly if you're listening to this. But you get a lot of things wrong about...
In an official capacity.
Yeah. You've got priors and you know what you did. And it makes me sick.
Erin's mum, what did you do?
Maureen McGee.
Okay, I wonder how these husband rankings are going to go.
Okay.
Should we start with Carlos? That'll be easier, I feel.
Yes.
I put 6.
Yes.
I think he remains calm and supportive. Yeah. So that gave him a little bump from the baseline, but also he's reinforcing violence as a way to show love, and so it's only slightly above average as a result.
I agree. I completely agree with everything you said.
Now, I think I'm going to change my score on Tom. I initially put 4.
4?
Don't worry, I'm going to go down. Because, look, he got a point taken away for the lack of effort into childcare at the start. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to not take the show as a whole into consideration, just the show up until this point. And as I say, I was mostly mad for Tom because of the pattern it becomes. Mm-hmm. Whereas at this point, I'm not quite at there yet. And also I didn't realize the vasectomy was such a chill procedure that could be reversed when I put that 4. I'm tempted to go down to a 3, but no lower than that, I think. Because I think if we were taking the show as a whole into account, I'd be lowering it. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I give him a 2.
Well, then my initial one was 4, so I think 3's in between.
Okay, we can do 3. I just think, I've said everything that I really need to say about it in general, but there is a certain type of sick in the head that you have to be to put your partner through this. And I am talking right now about what he does to Lynette long term. But he is so fickle with completely uprooting her life in every way. And it drives me crazy.
Well, are we all happy that we're back? Are we excited?
I'm devastated.
I'm devastated for my board game and the productiveness I'm going to have on that now that this is where my time's going.
Oh my goodness. Can I leave you with some of the in-house names we've been calling the cat? Because you have your outside name, like her legal name, which is Maggie. So I'll just... Magaloof. Magnum PI. She was really into Toast in the beginning. Toast Malone. And my personal favourite, Magatha Krusty.
Not Krusty.
Magatha Christie.
Why Krusty?
Because it sounds like Agatha Christie.
Yeah, but it makes her sound like she's all crusty and gross.
No, she's crusty. She's cute. She likes little crusty things instead of soft things.
So why not Agatha Cutie?
Because it doesn't sound as good.
Okay, if you say so. Do you know what does sound good?
Popeyes.
I feel like you're taking over the Popeyes hype from me.
Not sponsored. I've not been able to have anything yet.
Erin's very strict at Lent about junk food every year, and I think I gave up chewing gum one year and I didn't even stick to it.
It's really hard. I will say as well, like I, on a slightly serious note, have been having a lot of my endometriosis symptoms come back in a big way. So I've been trying to take more care of that in general, and annoyingly,
junk food doesn't help.
Yeah, I feel so much better.
It's crazy how literal junk food is harmful to your body. Crazy that.
It's crazy that like what you eat affects your body.
Imagine.
Couldn't be me, except it is.
Well, it is Easter, so we're gonna go eat a bunch of crap now. And then we'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah, we love you very much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time.
Stay desperate.
I just really wanted to see how long you would go in the silence before you did that.
Not long enough.
You went like this. Until it like came out of your body. Like you could like pressing a sneeze. Stay desperate.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out our Instagram for visuals, behind the scenes content, and more.
You can find us by searching for Modded, that's MEWDYD.
Or just search for MRLies, What Did You Do?
This podcast is brought to you entirely by us, Erin McGee
and Jakub Tanzi. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out.
Join us next time for another episode of MRLies,
What Did You Do?